Hi, here's a little tip on something you can do that can really help your case from the get-go, whether you're represented or not, for everybody. Um, when you are thinking about when it asks you, what are your medical impairments that um, limit you from being able to work? First, never just go with the big bad one that you feel is the worst. Never limit yourself to that. Social Security disability law looks at the whole person, and every little part of your body, believe it or not, can have an impact on whether or not there is some occupation in those 12,000 or some odd occupations in the regional or national economy that you would be able to do. And you'd be so surprised at how one of the impairments that you think is not as important, maybe it's not a life-threatening one, maybe you actually have a life-threatening one, but this one is not, but this one might actually prevent you from doing one or more occupations. So it is critical that you really put down everything. I actually give to my clients a body chart, and they click which parts of the body, there's little check boxes, are troublesome. And when I mean troublesome, I mean if they don't work as well as they did when you were 20, there's something going on. It doesn't have to necessarily be a big deal. There's obviously going to be big deals or you wouldn't be contemplating filing for disability, but put them down. And then this is the part that's a little less convenient. You need to start treating for most, if not many, or all, if not most or many. If you have, numbness and tingling in your hands that you don't really take the time to address because you don't really need your hands that much where it bothers you. And meanwhile, you're fighting a really bad back or very bad congestive heart failure or almost anything else. I get that you're not choosing to do that, but for the purpose of your case and your case alone, if for no other reason, it can be really important. And hands would be, if you need a referral from your primary care, you push for it. You're going to have to really push to get referrals for doctors if you need them. You're going to want an EMG with something like that. If you have a problem that is the most severe in your mind that prevented you from doing the particular job you used to do, but separately you have a bad back that really limits you from you can't walk 10 miles, which you could have done when you were 20, and you're not treating for that back because it doesn't lay you up in bed yet. That's something that you're going to want to get to an orthopedist, start getting worked up. They probably will do x-rays and maybe MRI. Whatever they find, then they might refer you for physical therapy. And the reason being, it gets your limitations, even though it's not the bedridden kind, on paper, and it's going to eliminate those jobs that they're going to say you could otherwise do, such as a 50-pound lifting all day long job, or a 100-pound lifting all day long job, or a 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 25 pounds. That's the thing that's going to kick out potentially more jobs than what your big impairment is. So don't make assumptions. Don't think you know what you're doing and just pick, I see this all the time where people just say, well, I'm disabled because of this. Well, that's what took you out of your job, but that's not what's going to take you out of 12,000 other occupations that you're otherwise considered able to do. So you need to take heed here. Speak to your attorney if you have one. You're not an attorney rep. But you want to go after every medical impairment, even the small ones. And by and large, you're also going to want to go to a specialist. Now, if you're my client, I could speak to you about whether it's okay to just use your PCP for something. It's going to really depend on the situation, but make the presumption that you're going to want to see a specialist so that you don't fail to get a specialist if it's the kind of impairment that you really, in hindsight, are going to wish you did, and the fact that you didn't really affected your case. You can't go back in time. You have to do this preparation now. If you are working still, and you are getting more deteriorated by the day, and your days are going to come to an end and you don't know what you're going to do, and you don't feel you can stop now because you really need to pay those bills, well, then at least get your case as strong as it can be before you stop working. Get all that medical evidence. And that means not just a one-time wonder hit with each doctor. That means follow-up, continuous follow-up to the extent and no less than the extent that's reasonable. It could be more than reasonable, but not less than reasonable. Okay, so if you have any questions on this, this is really important. I see too many people, they're going to lose their first shot at the first bite of the apple with their case because they weren't doing this. And it can take like 6-8 months to get kind of established with a new specialist and address a problem. And that might not be the full extent of getting it addressed, but it's just the start of it can take that long. So unless you're, have no problem waiting or losing, keep in mind, if you lose, you might not have another shot at the apple, because if you lose at a time when you no longer have insured status because you did stop working and you haven't had enough credits to make you insured still or again, it could be your very last shot at it. So you can't really take any particular application lightly because it might be your last opportunity. And if you don't prevail on your disability, there's a very good chance your retirement benefit in the future will be shrunken. So, all right. Reach out to me if you have any questions on this, but I have to drill it home once again. All right. Bye.